and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. Today we're going to look at how you can sell your knits over the next few months if there aren't in-person craft fairs. Hi and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here with Knitting Natter to help you learn to knit the easy way. Selling what you knit over the next few months might be difficult if there aren't in-person craft fairs, if there aren't markets, if there aren't the usual gatherings that you would expect to go to and have a stall to sell your knits. So let's talk about that today. What can you do instead and how can you find focus? Because yes, you want to sell your knits. If you're used to it, if you're used to that income over these next few months, then it's going to feel different this year. And you need to adapt and you need to find flexibility in what you're doing. The first thing I would recommend for you is keeping in touch with your customers. Even above organising a website or anything like that, I would say keep in touch with your customers because they may be forgetting who you are. They may be saying, oh yes, who was that lady at the craft fair? I can't remember her name. She doesn't send me an email very often. Can't remember, I'll go and find something else. You need to keep in touch. If you collected email addresses when you were at craft fairs, if you've got email addresses just from your Instagram account, and if you've got an Instagram account, start posting, showing behind the scenes, showing what you're up to, showing all the different yarns you've chosen to knit with, showing all the piles of knits that you've finished, all that sort of thing. Because if you're not stacking up items at craft fair now, then it could be completely different business for you. You've just got to learn that flexibility and recognise that social media can do a lot for you, as can an email list. If you feel that you're new to social media because you don't really do it, I have met people on stalls where I bought my jewellery at a big fair last year. I said to her, oh, let me follow you on Instagram. She said, oh no, I don't do Instagram, I just come to these fairs. And it just made me think that you can be blind to what can help you, not just help people remember that you're at the fairs, but help people remember you in difficult times like this, and help people actually come back to you in between fairs and say, oh, that necklace I tried on, I've thought and I've actually saved up the money now, can I have it? So I'll just email her and make it easier, or I'll DM her on Instagram. So go and watch lots of YouTube videos all about Instagram, go and watch all sorts of things you can about improving your photos. It can make a big difference. Getting that feedback, getting those comments, getting those likes, even just building your list very slowly on Instagram and moving people over to your email list can make a big difference. So you've got that communication happening, you've got the conversation going on, and people will turn to you. I knew who to turn to when I wanted face masks. I bought a couple and I made some, and I thought, we need them quickly. I'm not getting the sewing machine out now, I'll just get some now. And then I went off and then I made some for us as well. So it made a big difference. I knew immediately who to go to because I thought, yes, you're on. I knew who they were, I was following them on Instagram, and they were making noise, so I was hearing them, they were visible, they were continuing conversations with their customers. So think about that as a big part of running a business now. Whether we like it or not, social media is part of the game. Right, let's make this as easy as possible because the next step is moving your items online. So there are a few things you can do. The first one is to search for an online shop system that is in your area. For example, if you're in the US, everyone knows about Etsy. I would say if you're in the UK or in Canada or somewhere else in the world, then actually do a bit of a search and find one that is specifically for that country. I know in the UK, if I was starting a shop up similar to Etsy, I would go to Folksy because they have exactly what we need. It's all set out in pounds and it's all set out with English language, and so many of the other makers and artists on there are from the UK, which makes sense. If you're buying multiple things, you know it's just going to come from the UK. It's not going to take customs hold-ups, it's not going to take a lot of postage to get here because it's coming from the US. Yes, there are artists and makers from all over the world on Etsy, but being on Folksy means that it's very obvious and you don't even have to question it. That's one of the things that we recognise when we're shopping online. It's a big bonus having on your website, made in Great Britain. And that's the kind of thing that you can have by being on a localised shops forum like that. Yes, Folksy's here. There's lots of them in Canada, there's lots of them in Australia, and there's Etsy, of course, if you're in the US, and go and find whichever one suits you around the world. Then, of course, you could set up a website if you maybe have a tech background and you know what you're doing, or you've got a partner who builds websites or a friend. It's easy to set it up. Or you just do want to take that learning in that kind of tech to a next level. The other option, if you want to sell online, is to make it as easy as possible. Get someone to choose what they want off of your Instagram page. Mention on every single post that you do on Instagram, this is for sale. If you want it, let me know, DM me. Then they send you a DM, I want this, and you send them a link to a PayPal invoice. It can be that simple. Don't overcomplicate stuff. If you want it to be simple, if you're saying this is just a glitch in the space-time continuum, we're going to have 1 year off and then it'll all be back to normal next year. Likelihood is that's quite possibly the case. We may have to go through this for 2 winters, who knows? But get yourself sorted. You never know. You may prefer that way of selling in the end. You say, only occasionally we'll do a craft fair now. I'm much happier selling stuff on Instagram. The next thing I would suggest is that you keep in touch with all of the craft fairs that you usually go to. I've seen at least one say, we're having a whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because that's what we're usually doing this weekend in the year. So what we're going to do is bring all of our stall holders online video, and we're going to feature all of their different items. They each have a half-hour slot or something, and they're encouraging customers to go and visit them. Come and watch a few videos. Even if you just watch 3 of the different makers instead of the whole 10 hours every day for 3 days, because that's how long the market's going to be open usually, then they just will move you through the different makers. They'll feature different crafters and they say, well, what's your process? Where do you live? It's really exciting to see your studio. That's one thing you don't see at craft fairs. So if you're sat there wondering whether a craft fair will have anything on this year, then go and talk to them. They may just say, we want a 5% fee for everything that you sell through us, simply because we'd usually be taking that as part of your stall price. And we're running this for charity anyway, so we need some kind of give back. We're having a raffle throughout the day. If you want to donate a prize, then please do. That kind of thing can be really, really good for you. It shows that you're willing, it shows that you're visible, and it shows that you have taken thought and intention into actually being there this year for your customers. They want to buy from you. There's this whole thing going around at the moment, oh no, we're in a recession, everything's going down the toilet, I don't know what's going to happen, everyone's losing their jobs, but people still have money. There are people in the world who have made a lot more money over the last few months. How many shops have moved online? How many places in the world have suddenly started using online video streaming? All that kind of thing. There are people out there with a lot more money, as well as people out there with less money. So there are still people out there wanting to buy, and if you've lost your job, if you suddenly want to start knitting stuff, then you can be someone who says, right, I'm going to bring myself out of this. I know what I can do. I can start making money in a different way and start running my own business. So if there aren't craft fairs this year, you still have that opportunity. There are still customers out there with money to spend. Please, please, please don't just give up and say it's all over. It isn't. Follow your craft fairs, and if there are a few stall holders that you always meet at the same craft fairs and makers markets, then meet up with them, organise yourselves and do a mini craft fair yourself online. All you need to do is 3 or 4 hours in one day, have a lot of promotion for it, get everyone's customers to join on video and answer questions. Say, oh, what did you use to make this? Was it merino wool or was it cotton? What size is that exactly? And wow, that's amazing. How often do you knit every day? You're going to answer all those customers' questions. And when did you start knitting? who taught you to knit, all that kind of thing. And they will be excited to learn more about you, and they'll be excited to buy from you because they're seeing your items. Yes, they won't be seeing them face to face and they won't be able to touch them, but they'll be seeing them on video, you're seeing your enthusiasm, and you'll be joining up with your other makers as well. So you can share your audience in that respect too. I think that's enough for us to think about. What have we said today? We've said keep in touch with your customers and build a larger stream of customers by just being active and present on your social media and on your email list as well. The other thing we said was how about moving your items online and starting an online store, and that can be as complicated with a website. It can be easier with an Etsy or a Folksy store, or indeed it can be as simple as possible by simply posting your items on Instagram or indeed in your email every week and saying, here's, send me a message if you'd like one of these items and I'll send you an invoice for it. It can be that simple if you want it to be. And then the last thing we said was keep in touch with those craft fairs. You never know what all of these makers markets, what these craft fairs are going to do this winter. They run these fairs to make money. So there's no reason why they aren't going to be innovative and flexible. Just because they're usually in a large village hall or they're in a sports hall of a school or something like that doesn't mean that they're not going to do exactly the same thing online or make a decent enough version of it so that you'd want to be part of it. That's your ideas. Just think about which one thing you'd like to implement now. What do you think is most important for your business? Maybe you've already set up a few of these and you think, right, I need to double down on one of these ideas and get going with it. Let me know in the comments which one you're going to focus on. Okay, thanks for joining me today. If you like more advice and more ideas for your profitable knitting business, then obviously go and have a look through the profitable knitting playlist. I'll link that below. And there's lots of ideas in there and lots of support for you as you start your business. And of course, there's also profitable knitting workshops that are running over the next few months. We've got 3 for you already, so go and binge watch if you join us, and then you can join us for the live Q&As for the next 3. You can ask any questions about any workshop in any of the workshops. So I would love to have you join us. I'll put the link for that down below as well. Great, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Happy knitting.